Live from New Delhi, you're watching India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Israel's Trade Union Federation calls for general strike on Monday after Gaza hostages found dead. Massive protests sweep Israel as frustration mounts over failure to secure a ceasefire deal. Huge political upheaval in Germany as nation's far-right Alternative for Germany projected to win its first ever state election in country's post-war history. Heavy rain devastates southern India's Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Prime Minister Modi takes stock of the situation in a call to the Chief Minister, assures all possible assistance. Big names continue to tumble at the US Open. Defending champion Coco Gauff joins the ever-growing surprise exit list, crashes out to Emma Navarrova in blizzard of mistakes. And in sports, India's Preethi wins bronze in 200-meter T35, becomes first ever Indian female athlete to win 2 medals in track and field event at the Paralympics or Olympics. On to the details now. Israel is witnessing a national outage following recovery of bodies of 6 more captives from a tunnel in southern Gaza. Emotions were high on the streets as protesters chanted, "Now, now," demanding a ceasefire deal. Protesters, many clad in Israeli flags, descended on Tel Aviv, Jerusalem and other cities on Sunday, accusing PM Benjamin Netanyahu and his government of failing to save the remaining hostages. The Israel Defense Forces said earlier that the 6 bodies were found on Saturday in an underground tunnel in the Rafah area of southern Gaza. It added that all of them were murdered by Hamas terrorists in a number of shots at close range 48 to 72 hours previously. The deaths leave 101 Israeli and foreign captives still in Gaza, but around a third of these are known to have died, with the fate of others unknown. And the major union in Israel has also called for a one-day general strike on Monday. The head of Israel's Histadrut labor union vowed to halt the country's economy to pressure the government into reaching a deal to return Israeli hostages still held by Hamas in Gaza.
It is not a simple matter to shut down the economy, and you know how much responsibility I have shown in the last 11 months. No more. I call on the people of Israel to take to the streets, leave the workplaces. I call on all economic organizations in the state of Israel, everyone to join the strike. We must raise the cry of all hostages, all displaced, all dead. The state of Israel must be returned to normal.
Well, head of the labor union, Arnon David, called on all civilian workers to join the strike and said Ben Gurion Airport, Israel's main air transport hub, would be closed from 500 GMT or 10:30 IST. The Histadrut represents some 800,000 workers in areas such as healthcare, transportation and banking. The Histadrut strike will be the first of its kind since Hamas's initial strike on Israel. Meanwhile, country's finance minister Bezalel Smotrich has asked the country's attorney general to submit an urgent request to courts to block the planned Monday's nationwide strike on Monday. Smotrich argued that a strike had no legal basis since it aimed to improperly influence significant policy decisions of politicians on issues related to state security. And several U.S. Democratic lawmakers also renewed calls for an Israeli-Hamas ceasefire, while Republicans criticized the government for not giving stronger support to Israel. Democrats say a ceasefire must be reached immediately that allows all remaining hostages to be released, humanitarian aid to flow into Gaza, and an elusive and neglected long-term vision for peace and stability to become a reality. Republicans, on their part, urged President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to finish the job against Hamas. Some others said Biden administration and Israel should hold Iran accountable for the fate of remaining hostages and put on the target list oil refineries in Iran if the hostages are not released. And now let's give you some updates on U.S. presidential polls. Actor George Clooney said that U.S. President Joe Biden should be applauded and credited for his selfless act of letting go of power. Making his first comment about his call in July for Biden to drop his bid for re-election, Clooney told a press conference at the Venice Film Festival that his own plea would not be remembered in the long run. Clooney's New York Times op-ed in July came in response to Biden's debate with Republican former President Donald Trump. In the piece, Clooney wrote that Biden was no longer the same person who won the White House in 2020. He also expressed admiration for Biden and said he considered him a friend.
The person who should be applauded is the president who did the most selfless thing that anybody's done since George Washington, and that's true. And for someone to say, I think there's a better way forward, that's all the credit goes to him, and that's really the truth. And all the rest of it will be long gone and forgotten. And so I'm just very proud of where we are in the state of the world right now, which I think many people are surprised by, and I think we're all very excited for the future. And so that's, I think that's all I'll say on that. I think that's the smartest way.
Well, huge political upheaval in Germany as nation's far-right Alternative for Germany projected to win its first ever state election in country's post-war history. Exit polls showed that Germany's far-right AfD won a landmark first regional vote on Sunday in the former East German state of Thuringia. AfD is projected to get 33.5% of all the vote, well ahead of the Conservative Party Christian Democrats with 24.5%. In the neighbouring state of Saxony, the Conservatives led on 32%, just half a percentage point ahead of the AfD. The AfD is unlikely to come to power in either state because other parties have ruled out working with the far right to form a government. But the result is still a political earthquake, as it would represent the first time in Germany's post-World War II history that a far-right party has won a state election. If confirmed, it would also be a huge blow for Chancellor Scholz's Social Democrats and the other parties in his fractious coalition government, the Greens and the Liberal FDP. Hundreds of people took part in a demonstration against the far-right Alternative for Germany. The protest was held in downtown Erfurt, the capital of the state of Thuringia, where one of the votes for the regional parliament took place on Sunday. And as Algeria approaches its 2024 presidential elections, three key candidates are vying for the top office for the presidential election scheduled for the 7th of September. Leading a major opposition party since 2020, presidential candidate Youssef Ouattara is focusing his campaign on social issues, advocating for improved living standards and democratic reforms. President Abdelmadjid Tebboune is seeking a second term, as emphasized his achievements in both domestic and international arenas. Cherif Abdelali Hassani, leader of the moderate Islamist movement of the Society for Peace, is also running. Hassani aims to promote democracy, pluralism and a competitive political environment in Algeria. The election scheduled for September 7, 2024 is expected to be a significant movement in Algeria's political landscape. And a recent investigation into the helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian has concluded that adverse weather conditions were the primary cause of the accident. The General Staff of the Armed Forces, in their final report, ruled out any technical failures or sabotage as contributing factors. Instead, they cited the complex spring weather patterns in the region as the primary reason for the crash. According to the report, the helicopter pilot's iPad revealed accurate flight path information, indicating no deviation from the planned route. The cabin voice recorder and flight data recorder showed no signs of distress or emergency calls from the pilot. Toxicology and pathology tests on the victim bodies found no suspicious substances, and a thorough examination of the helicopter's parts and systems revealed no evidence of sabotage. The results of the investigation will be presented to Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of the Islamic Revolution. Well, the number of fires in Brazil's Amazon rainforest region for the month of August surged to the highest level since 2010. Last year's rains came late and were weaker than usual because a weather pattern known as El Nino was supercharged by climate change, leaving the rainforest especially vulnerable to this year's fires. Satellites detected 38,266 fire hotspots in the Amazon in August, more than double compared to the previous year, and the largest number for that month since 2010, data from Brazil's National Institute of Space Research showed. The August data, reaching a 14-year high, comes after last month's fire hotspots in the region surged to a 2-decade high. And Hollywood heavyweights George Clooney and Brad Pitt in cast of movies Wolves made a dazzling appearance on the red carpet of Venice Film Festival. The star-studded ensemble, including Austin Abrams, alongside co-stars, posed for photographers amid enthusiastic applause from the crowd. Fans and critics alike are eager to see how the thriller comedy movie Wolves, written and directed by John Watts, will fare in the competition, with many already buzzing about its potential for major awards at Venice. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Today, it's been 1 year since the launch of India's first solar mission, Aditya L1. We'll tell you all about Indian presence at Egypt International Air Show. And India's Nishant Kumar bagged silver in men's high jump T47 in Paris Paralympics. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lapakshi Khurana, and moving on, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in Brunei Darussalam, a Southeast Asian country, on a 2-day visit starting 3rd of September. Brunei Darussalam is a tiny state spread across around 5,000 square kilometers and situated on the northern coast of the island of Borneo along the South China Sea. This will be the first bilateral visit of an Indian Prime Minister to this Southeast Asian country. This visit coincides with 40th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic ties between India and Brunei and is being seen as crucial for India's Act East policy and vision for Indo-Pacific region. Our correspondent Munmun Bhattacharya spoke to Indian High Commissioner Alok Dimri on expectations from PM Modi's visit. Take a listen.
High Commissioner, sir, what will be the engagements of Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the 2 days that he'll be spending here in Brunei Darussalam?
You see, Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji is arriving Brunei Darussalam on 3rd September, and the official day of engagement will be 4th September. His Majesty the King will receive Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji and the official delegation at the Royal Palace, the Royal Palace Nurul Iman here in Bandar Seri Begawan. There will be official delegation level talks, there will be restricted talks, and these will be followed by an official luncheon hosted by His Majesty in honor of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Besides, there will also be a brief royal audience that will be with the close family members of His Majesty. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji is also slated to pay a visit to the most iconic mosque, monument of the Bandar Seri Begawan, the Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque, established in memory of the late Majesty, His Majesty's father, which is purportedly derives its iconic and architectural inspiration from Taj Mahal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji would also be dedicating the new High Commission Chancery building to the nation. Besides, there will be community engagements upon arrival at the Chancery dedication ceremony, and a community is also expected to receive Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji at the mosque. Besides that, there is a business meeting called on by the business leader on the cards.
Thank you, High Commissioner sir, for speaking to us. So it's going to be 2 days of too many engagements for Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Brunei Darussalam. With cameraman Kumar Datta, this is Munmun Bhattacharya from Bandar Seri Begawan, Brunei Darussalam, for DD India.
And heavy rainfall continued to wreak havoc across the Indian states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, leading to severe flooding, loss of life and widespread disruption. Both states have been grappling with relentless downpours over the past few days, causing rivers to swell and inundating vast areas, including major cities like Hyderabad and Vijayawada. In response, 9 National Disaster Response Force teams are on the job in Telangana to assist in the rescue operations. Meanwhile, NDRF, along with local police, has been actively involved in rescue and relief operations, relocating affected residents to rehabilitation centres, as Andhra Pradesh has also been severely affected by heavy rainfall. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Chief Ministers of both the southern states and inquired about the situation in the wake of heavy rains and floods. Prime Minister assured all possible assistance from the centre to overcome this challenge. Well, the Indian Meteorological Department has forecasted continued heavy rainfall, thunderstorms and lightning for the next 5 days in isolated places across north coastal Andhra Pradesh, exacerbating the already critical situation. Meanwhile, red warnings issued for parts of Telangana, predicting very heavy to extremely heavy rainfall in several districts over the next few days. And the launch of India's solar mission Aditya L1 completes 1 year today. India's first solar observatory mission, Aditya L1, was launched on September 2nd, 2023 and inserted into its targeted halo orbit on January 6th, 2024. Let's take a look at the journey so far. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya gets us more.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
India's first solar mission Aditya L1 embarked on its journey to the Sun Earth L1 point on September 2nd last year. This July, it successfully completed its first halo orbit around the L1 point, located approximately 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. Aditya L1 reached this crucial point on January 6 this year, just 127 days after its launch. The mission began collecting scientific data on September 18th last year, marking a significant milestone in solar research. One of the mission's key instruments, the high-energy L1 orbiting X-ray spectrometer, recorded the first impulsive phase of solar flares in November. Since then, there has been no looking back. The Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope, or SUIT, and the Visible Emission Line coronagraph captured dynamic activities of the Sun in May this year, including several X-class and M-class flares associated with coronal mass ejection, which can lead to significant geomagnetic storms on Earth. Aditya L1 is designed to place a satellite in hollow orbit around Sun, the Earth L1 point, where the gravitational forces of the Earth and Sun balance with the satellite's centripetal force. This unique position allows scientists to study solar particles and phenomena which are crucial for space weather forecasting. Early detection of solar activities provide advanced warnings to protect satellites, power grids and communication systems on Earth. Tapash Bhattacharya's report, TD India.
Well, the Indian Air Force's renowned helicopter display team Sarang is set to grace the skies of Egypt as part of the inaugural Egyptian International Air Show scheduled to take place from September 3rd to 5th, 2024 in El Al-Malmini. Joining a host of international participants, Sarang will showcase its world-class aerial maneuvers and contribute to the event's global appeal. Sarang will treat spectators to a mesmerizing display featuring 5 Dhruv advanced light helicopters, a symbol of the Indian Air Force. Sarang has captivated audiences worldwide with its breathtaking performances and operational excellence. Established in 2003 and making its international debut at the Asian Aerospace Show in Singapore in 2004, the team has amassed an impressive record of over 1,200 displays across 385 venues globally. And now time for some sports news. First, take a look at all updates from Paris Paralympics. Well, India's Preethi Pal created history on Sunday as she clinched the bronze medal in 200-meter T35 race. The 23-year-old became the first ever Indian female athlete to win 2 medals in track and field event at the Paralympics or Olympics, recording a personal best timing of 30.01 seconds. T35 classification is meant for athletes who have coordination impairments such as hypotonia, ataxia and athetosis. On Friday, she had clinched India's first athletics medal in the Paralympics track event, winning a bronze in the women's T35 100-meter competition with a personal best time of 14.21 seconds. Well, Indian President Draupadi Murmu also congratulated the para-athlete on social media platform X for her historic feat. She said, and I quote, "Congratulations to Preethi Pal on winning bronze medal in women's 200-meter T35 event at the Paris Paralympics. After her 100-meter bronze, this is the second medal in the Paris Paralympics, an exceptional achievement. Both para-athletics medals for India have been won by her. India is proud of her. Draped in tricolour, her victorious images have electrified sports lovers. May she strengthen sports culture among the youth and win greater accolades for India." Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister also congratulated Preethi on her special achievement. He said, "It's a historic achievement by Preethi Pal as she wins her second medal in the same edition of the Paralympics 2024 with a bronze in the women's 200-meter T35 event. She is an inspiration for the people of India. Her dedication is truly remarkable." And another Indian para-athlete, Nishad Kumar, produced a brilliant performance to clinch a silver medal in men's high jump T47 event at the Paris Paralympics, taking India's overall medal tally to 7. T47 is meant for competitors with a below elbow or wrist amputation or impairment. Nishad's highest jump at the event was 2.04 meters, which was also his season's best. USA's Roderick Townsend won the gold medal with the highest jump of 2.12 meters, while Georgie Marjeev, representing the neutral Paralympic athletes, took the bronze medal at 2.00 meters. Nishad had also won a silver in Tokyo Paralympics 3 years ago. And in US Open, third seed Coco Gauff produced a disjointed performance on Sunday to lose 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 to fellow American and 13th seed Emma Navarro. Gauff hit 19 double faults with 3 in the final game, helping secure victory for Navarro and send her into a first US Open quarter-final. Gauff's defeat will see her drop out of the top 5 in the world rankings. The 20-year-old's exit means Serena Williams remains the last woman to successfully defend the US Open title back in 2014. Meanwhile, Navarro's will next play Spain's 26th seed Paula Badosa in the quarter-finals on Tuesday. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Kurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.